So good afternoon. Thank you all for joining us for our TEA LEA Special Education webinar this afternoon. We've got two people to join us. One of the agenda items is missing off the agenda, so that's on me. You'll get an update in agenda, but we do have Donna Holmes, who's going to talk about data submission for SPP, and then we have Laura Briones, who's going to give us an update on legal framework. So when this goes out and the recording is posted, share with your friends that legal framework was talked about today in case they didn't show up, not knowing that legal framework is going to be discussed today. So, but with that, I'm going to turn it over. Oh, and just another reminder, remember, we don't have chat features, but we do have a Q&A feature. So if there's questions that you have for either Donna or Laura about today's information, please put those in the Q&A because I will send them individually to Donna and Laura. If they require an answer, you might get an answer, but sometimes it's just helping us with further guidance and clarification on any of the topics that are presented during our webinar. So we appreciate when you do add a question. So Donna, I'm going to turn it over to you. Thank you.
Hey, thank you. Good afternoon. I have a couple of announcements this afternoon. The first one is about our state performance plan indicator reports that are now available online. You can access and download those, and they'll either be at the local education agency level, regional, or statewide reports, and those are on our SPP Public Report Generator webpage. And as a reminder, these provide detailed overviews of key federal performance and compliance indicators that are related to special education in Texas. And they cover such areas as graduation rates, dropout rates, math and reading, participation and proficiency, suspension and expulsion data, our child find data, and effective transitions. And these can be used to offer insights into the performance of students with individualized education programs, and they can highlight areas of progress or areas that might need improvement against the targets that are set for both the federal government and TEA that are set with advisement from our stakeholder groups. We also want to remind you that beginning with this federal fiscal year 2023, these indicator reports providing unmasked data were added to the accountability application in the Texas Education Agency login or TEAL application. The ones that are publicly posted, those are masked. The numbers, if they fall below a certain number to protect students' confidentiality, those would be masked. But the district's reports are available within TEAL that has the unmasked data. But since these are unmasked, they're only available to approved users, and they should be treated as confidential. And if you have any questions about these reports, you can email those to our SPP mailbox at spp@tea.texas.gov. And we'd also like to announce that the SPP 14 Post-School Outcomes Survey is now available on the SPP 14 webpage. It is the survey that was conducted in the summer of 2024, and it was surveying students that graduated in the 22-23 school year. If you would like to find some additional resources that helps you understand the survey, those are on the Texas Bed Support website. They have some videos that provide a bit of an overview. And if you have any other questions, there is a transition specialist at each of the region's centers. And our last announcement today has to do with our new special education data submission in TSDS. And beginning in school year 25-26, the TSDS system will include the special education data system submission, and we'll be calling it the SPEDS submission. And it's going to encompass the State Performance Plan Indicator 7, which is preschool outcomes, Indicator 11, which is our timely initial evaluation or child find, indicator 12, which is early childhood transition, and indicator 13, our secondary transition. All 4 of these will be rolled into that one collection, and it aims to enhance our data quality by integrating the various indicators into one single collection and streamlining that data submission process. As you know, currently, indicators 11 and 12 are collected in the TSDS Child Find collection, while 7 and 13 have been collected and are, through this year, collected in our PIL application. But like I said, starting in school year 25-26, all 4 of those will be rolled into the SPEDS collection in TSDS. We're going to be providing additional information and guidance for these collections coming up, so please stay tuned for any communications and to make sure you got the latest updates and instructions. You can subscribe to our special education newsletter that will be including some updates and links to resources, in addition to staying tuned to our posted agendas for our upcoming webinars. And with that, that's all I have for today.
Thank you, Donna. I appreciate it. I love a little reminder to sign up and register for the newsletter, because we do send quite a bit of information through the newsletters. Where you got the link for this particular webinar, the newsletters are housed right there. So both of these are easily accessible pieces of information, our webinars and our newsletters. So thank you, Donna. Okay, Laura, thank you for joining us, even though I forgot to put you on the agenda, but give us some legal framework updates, friend.
It's all good. Hello, good afternoon. I just wanted to make a brief announcement or an update to the legal framework regarding the submission of board policies and operating procedures. There was some communication that went out to the ESCs earlier this week, and they should have gone ahead and sent that email out to all the LEAs. So if you've not seen that, please check your emails, because it should be in your email box regarding all this communication. But just some historical background. For many years, TEA has required LEAs to upload their individual board policies and their operating procedures that are aligned with frameworks on the legal framework. This year, there were extensive updates and changes to the administrative code. And so as a result, TEA pushed the deadline back for those revisions and that upload to the legal framework, just in an effort to give everybody time to make those revisions. The deadline originally was the end of January, then it became March, and then it was postponed through the summer indefinitely. So I just wanted to give an update. We have discussed at great length with ESC 18, who administers the legal framework, and we have we're trying to work through streamlining the process to make it easier for LEAs to make those revisions and keep those updated and submit and for compliance of the annual requirements. That process, in order for us to streamline, is going to take us a little bit. And so for this next year, for the 25-26 school year, LEAs are not required to submit their board policies or their operating procedures to the legal framework. So again, I'm going to say that again. This year, there was not a requirement to submit the board policies or the operating procedures to the legal framework. And moving forward for the 25-26 school year, there's also not a requirement. Now, that is not to say that LEAs don't need to have updated and revised operating procedures and their board policies. Those need to be maintained and kept current at the local level. If an LEA is scheduled for cyclical or targeted monitoring for the 25-26 school year, then the TEA monitor will contact that LEA directly to get those documents, but there's not a requirement to submit it to the legal framework. So again, just want to reiterate, there is a requirement still to have them revised and to have them available upon request, both for TEA or the community stakeholders, but there's not a requirement for this next school year to upload to the legal framework. With that said, we will have communication about the annual assurances that are also submitted to the legal framework that will be coming out soon. So be looking for that. But right now, there's not a requirement to complete the assurances at this particular moment, but we'll have more communication coming soon. And there's not a requirement to upload, but there is still a requirement to make sure that they are updated and maintained at the local level. That's all I have.
Awesome. Thank you, Laura. And I know that when you had spoke with the ESC directors, they were asking a few questions on behalf of the LEAs. So it might be good to kind of talk about some of them here so we have it documented for the LEAs. But I know one of the questions was, if there's policies that are already on the legal framework that are updated, do they do anything? No, they can just leave them there. They don't have to clean anything out. And what was another question? Was that the only one? I know there was.
That was one of the main questions, and I will say, so there was a question about what if they were, maybe the operating procedures were submitted previously, but they are now not current. And so we're actually, but there's not a requirement to go in and change that in the legal framework side. We're probably going to put something on the legal framework though as a disclaimer that says if parents go and they're looking for your a specific LEA's operating procedures, we'll probably put something on there about making sure they contact LEA directly, because that's going to be the most current version for right now. But there's nothing to do if you've already submitted them. That's okay. They're not going anywhere. We're going to keep them there. But there's not a requirement to do an additional submission at this point.
Perfect. Yeah, I do remember that question being asked. So I'm glad we clarified it and got that information out there. So, well, thank you so much. I appreciate everyone's attendance this afternoon. We didn't have too much, but the website will be updated with the agenda updated that has the legal framework information. That way people will know that this recording has both topics on it. So we appreciate it. So thank you all. Thank you, ladies, for joining me. And thank you, everyone out across the state. Have a good afternoon. Bye-bye.